it's Nisha here, or Grad Med Gal, and it has been so long since I last made a video. I'm so sorry. What can I say? I've just been useless. But I'm here now to tell you that I passed first year. Yay! I'm really happy about that, purely because, well, I mean, yay, passed, but also we're just about to start on another hospital placement, and I just don't think I could have faced doing that and having to revise. So very grateful to have passed. We've just had a month off, which was brilliant. It was really nice to do nice things as far as I was able to, so glad to have taken the time to do that. But yeah, now we've been back in the grind on some online lectures for the past 2 weeks, and yeah, starting in the hospital properly next week, and that's for 7 weeks. So yeah, quite a long placement, looking forward to it. But I thought I'd come on here and kind of tell you about some of the things that I've learnt in first year, in the hopes that you might find that helpful and maybe not make some of the mistakes that I did. So yeah, the first thing I'd say, and I'm sure I've mentioned this in another video, is that the method that I used at undergrad of taking notes and doing notes for each lecture was just not feasible here. The breadth and depth of content covered in Cambridge is just too much to make that a sustainable thing to do, and I definitely spent a bit too long on it and didn't give myself enough time to relax. And actually I didn't end up using my notes all that much because of this other resource that I made, that I ended up revising from fully at the end of the year, which was writing out questions from the lectures and then dictating on Microsoft Word the answers to those questions. And the dictation feature actually worked quite well and was relatively accurate, surprisingly, and it took it was a lot faster than typing it out, so would recommend. But it was really helpful to kind of get explanations out in my own words, and kind of speaking out loud helped to consolidate knowledge. So I think for next year I'm really going to utilise that and try and trust in that process, and that resource is actually going to be really helpful for me. I also tried Anki cards, and for me that just didn't work. I like the freedom of having those questions written out and being able to go through it at my own pace and go over it how I wanted to go over it, because Anki, it's a flashcard software, and it kind of is really helpful in that it you kind of say whether that was helpful or not helpful, and it kind of helps with your recall, spaced repetition and that kind of thing, and it does it all for you, and it can definitely work for some people, but I think you have to be like using it really well and know how to use it properly, and I guess I just didn't, and you have to be really on going over stuff again and again for it to work to its best capacity, which I just wasn't. So don't discard it, have a go. It just didn't work for me, and I thought I'd mention that. And then I think a really important thing that maybe a lot of people don't talk about, but I thought I'd just be perfectly honest with you, is that I'm not super happy with the results I got. Maybe I'll drop them in the description because I know some people are interested in that. But it's silly because I passed, and actually this year alone isn't worth loads and loads, so I should be happy with that. And objectively I didn't do badly, but for me, especially like how I feel, the amount of work that I put in, I didn't necessarily get out what I would have hoped to get out, and it's a real mental block to have, and it's not helpful, it's not productive, and it is really something that I need to work on. So if you're like me, maybe we can work on that together. But yeah, it's tough when like you put a lot of your value in your academic achievement, and I know that I'm not super clever and I do have to work really hard, and I know that a lot of Cambridge students do feel this kind of thing, especially because where they are, a lot of them, well, people are very academically gifted, and then they're put in a room of all these people who are very similar to them, and it can get quite hard that everyone's kind of now on the same level as you, or maybe you were like top of the class before. And having never been top of the class, luckily that's not me, but I do put a lot of that pressure on myself, and it is something I'm trying to work through and get over. So yeah, I just thought I'd be honest about that, and that's some learning I'm taking forward into the next year, because knowing all these like little academic details about tiny bits on proteins and all this kind of thing isn't what's going to make a good doctor at the end of it. It's really important, obviously, academically to pass and to do well in that, but what makes a doctor isn't necessarily knowing all those tiny bits of information. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into it, and I've just got to remember that, and yeah, hopefully just do better or continue as I am, because objectively I really haven't done badly. It's just an internal problem. So yeah, I'm not going to make this video too long or anything, because people have probably forgotten about me anyway. But I mean, if you have any questions, please drop a comment or DM me on Instagram at gradmedgal. But yeah, thank you for watching this one, and see you in the next one, whenever that's gonna be, because I'm terrible at this. But yeah, bye.